Okay. Guys, I'm going to move this aside and quickly right here, what we're doing first, you can throw that one in there, is the perpendicular bisector. Now, some kids said they remembered this from last year, some kids said they did not. Okay, so you open this up more than half the width, the length of AC. Do you see that? Make your radius more than half. Okay, with this part of the compass, the pointy piece at vertex A or angle A, I'm going to take it, I'm going to make half, or not half, but like an arc mark up at the top, like that. Don't, please stop the talking. Without moving it, I'm going to pick it up and do the same thing at the bottom. Now, some kids will say, well, just make a whole half circle, which you can do. I did not. I just put an arc and an arc. Top and then bottom. Now, if you don't want to do top and bottom, just swing it all the way through and do a half circle. Okay. And once you've done this, do not adjust the radius of your compass. You have to leave it exactly as it was for this part here. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay. You're then going to take this and flip it around like this and put your pointy corner, your pointy piece at vertex or angle C. Okay. I'm going to have to do it after notes. Okay. But I tell her I will do it today. I'm going to keep this so I can get it to her.
Okay. That's righty tighty.
All right. Okay. Pointy piece at angle C. Guys.
Yes.
Come back to the top, make another arc, pick it up to the bottom, and make an arc. It should look like an X at the top and an X at the bottom. Does everybody see that? So see, like this extra stuff, I didn't need to make it that big. You just need an X at the top and X at the bottom. So you don't have to erase some of it. I am. But I do want to tell you this. Once you're done with the construction, do not erase these markings. These markings are you showing your work. Please stop. These markings are you showing your work. Gentlemen, on the test, they're going to ask you, what is the proper picture for the construction of a perpendicular bisector? When you're making a perpendicular bisector, what do you have above and below your line? These X's. You're right. Now, did anybody make half circles instead of X's?
Yeah.
If you did, you had like these fish markings like this. Looks like, to me, it looks like a fish. Okay, so you can do that. That's perfectly fine. Just know on the test it's not going to be the fish. What is it going to be? The X. All right, so here is what you do. Before I give you the next step, is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Then get another one. I'm gonna put it. Okay, get your ruler and line it up with the two X's, with that intersecting mark and that intersecting mark, and mark it up, line it up the best you can, and then connect. Yes. Make sure you sign out. Shh. Okay, did everybody get it done? Okay. Now, I'm going to call this intersecting line that intersects with AC, I'm going to call this point X. Now, technically, when you construct, you're not supposed to use a ruler. You're supposed to use a straight edge because you're not supposed to measure. Kids always ask, well, why don't I just measure? Because you're not supposed to be using a ruler. But since we have one, we can measure just to check to see if it came out just about right. And for mine, it looks just about even. Check yours and see if it came out to be just about even. Again, these tools are not state-of-the-art, best type of compasses, but they work for us in class. People that do this for a living have much more expensive types of tools to work with. Okay. Now, what if this is a perpendicular bisector? What's the measure of this angle right in here?
Right.
It's a right angle. And since the bottom of your ruler is a corner, you can use that to check if it's a right angle. Did it come out to be a right angle? Use the bottom of your ruler. The corner of your ruler is a 90 degree because they're straight edges both ways. So line up your ruler. Did it line? It's up here. Can you guys see it? Yes? If it goes right in that corner, is it 90? Okay. What else do we know about AX and CX?
They're congruent.
They are congruent because not only is it perpendicular, it's a perpendicular bisector. All right. Any question on how we constructed this? Gentlemen. Okay. Now again, on the test, it may not have this line, but it has these X marks. Should you know those X marks are for the perpendicular bisector?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to flip to this side here. And we're going to do the same thing now for BC. Make sure you're open more than half. Now, I didn't adjust mine. I just left it the same way I did on the other one, but you can adjust it to make it a little, there you go, I adjusted it. A little smaller, as long as it's more than half the length of BC. Everybody ready? Okay, with the pointy piece at angle C, you're going to make an arc at the top and an arc at the bottom. These are my two arcs that I just made.
Wait, does that have to be the side of BC?
I'm working with BC. I mean, you could be on a different side, but that's the side I'm doing right now.
Oh no, but like, does it have to be like the exact same size?
No, it has to be more than half the length of BC. So if you're less than half, it's not going to work. Okay, so then I'm going to flip this around. Do not adjust the radius. I'm going to flip it around, put this on point B, and arc at the top, arc at the bottom. You should see an X at the top and an X at the bottom. Do you see that? No? Okay. Now, after you connect these two, should you erase your X's? No, that's you showing your work. Okay, so take your ruler, line up this intersecting point, the point of intersection here and here. Okay, I'll repeat that. So, I opened up my compass, more than half the length of BC, and then I put the pointy piece at C, and I made an arc at the top, or half an X at the top and half an X at the bottom.
Oh, I see.
And then I put them back down, flipped it around, put the pointy piece at B, and did the exact same thing. Half an arc at the top, or part of an arc at the top, an arc at the bottom, and then connect the two, which is what I'm going to do now. So I line up the two intersecting points. Okay. Guys, I'm going to call this Y. What do we know about this angle right here?
It's a right angle.
It's a right angle. What do we know about CY and BY?
They're
They are congruent. And I put 2 tick marks because I've already used one over here. Okay. Any questions?
Do we have another compass?
Is that one not working?
Like this one? We're still
On the first part? Okay, you guys, if you've got it, go ahead and do BA. I'm gonna walk around and see how you guys are doing. Right now you're doing BA. If any of you have stayed up with me and you're at the same point I am, continue. But do the side with BA and I'll walk around and see. Yeah, that's fine. You have the little fishies. If you have the fish markings instead of the X markings, that's perfectly fine. Is it working for you guys? Okay, then do the third side. If you've got it, do the third side. And if you've got it, you can help people in your group.
I don't like this stuff. I'm never going to use this.
Yes.
That is correct.
John,
Now it's no, third side.
So it's EA?
I will tell you this, once you do your third side, once you do the BA, the 3 lines should intersect all at one point. They're concurrent. The three lines should all intersect at the same point. Does anybody need help? Well, there's a third, I haven't done the third one. Yeah, that's, I stopped to help people. But once you get done, are you done yet? Did you guys move on?
you let it go.
It doesn't matter what size. Oh, as long as it's more than half of it. So Next that top and that bottom. Yeah, she's when you light up the ruler, just don't go all the way down to the triangle. So just, and you could actually, because you're not going to use the outside. Oh, we're not? No, let me show you what it's going to look like. So you can see my bottom line goes all the way down, like just like yours did. And it doesn't matter because it's we don't use it.
She called you Vanessa.
Mine's kind of like kind of.
Okay, well then just go right, like right to the intersection. It doesn't have to go all the way through. As long as your ruler's lined up, then you're good. Yes.
I don't know that.
Guys, when you make your line, make sure your ruler is lined up between the 2 intersecting marks. Oh, then don't open it so wide if you can. You just have to ignore the marks and then trouble later.
Yo, Violet, take this thing out. I take these out. Whoa. Was it like a top?
It is Torres.
We're
confused.
Resin.
So I got this one.
Oh, it's a top. Or what is this?
Like that.
Okay.
And then
the bottom.
oh, then wait, this one over here.
Can I just see that this is more than half? Is there a reason why this is so? So we did this. No, because I had this, you cancel like this and stuff. Okay, can you erase these lines?
Not all 3 sides, but when you're working on one triangle, this side and that side need to be the same. So when you're working on one side, the 2 markings at the top and the 2 markings at the bottom, you need to have the same width. Does that make sense? Let me show you. So I'm going to show you right now. So when you do this and you scratch and then you have to flip around, you don't adjust it. It has to be the exact same. Okay, so go ahead and try it. The other side can be different, but when you do this side, same thing. Those 2 have to match. Yes.
What do they don't match up?
It's okay as long as are they close, then that's good.
And then you do it it's on your paper and it's done.
Okay, you can do the top first. Or this way, put the pointy piece back here. Now, what that, go ahead and make it. Go ahead and make it. What that means is that you have to go back to the other corner and make that a little bigger. That's why some people do the fish markings because they get it longer every time. There you go. So you line up your ruler here. Do that one more time. Because it looks like it's split a little bit. No, just the top one.
I just saw it right now.
It was right here. How did you?
So then you line up. She's going to show you right now. Yeah. So then you line up that one, and you want to make sure you on it, and then connect it, and then can you help
Just do it. I can try to make it like that. Mrs. Torres. Just go all the way right.
Okay, let's do
As long as it's
Oh my God.
it doesn't have to be like.
Guys, have any of you done it, mastered it, and you feel like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this?
No.
Yes? Okay.
Okay,
I asked that those of you that have got it, can you just take a quick walk around the room because some people need help and there's only one of me. If you don't mind, right here, Carolina. Right here.
You didn't see me in the back the whole time?
You were lying. I don't know why I like this picture so much.
I just put the line all the way out there because I get on here.
And so,
So that's how I see you.
Nate, you're good at this.
No, I'm in like the past couple of days.
You guys need to be helping each other, not chit-chatting. Come on, people in your group need help.
Silent Bailey.
No.
Can I buy a one?
No.
Yeah, change your buy.
So which size hat?
What about changing
First one.
Yeah, basically it's you. Gender original. Like all the games are like take that.
And then you got the old school trick. And now you have blanch. You use your wing that you really have for. Make your wings go. Yeah, I don't have that much. They all have stacks. Joe, I'm gonna get just go to the bank, pull out for 18 grand, take a picture, and put it back in.
You're saying it's okay to everything.
All right. Yes, guys, you were supposed to do your third side. Yes? Did any of you do that already?
I'm gonna try it. I just winged it.
It's good.
Are you so mad at me? Let's
Oh, don't you not doing that?
Miss Torres, do we do the other one now?
What?
Do we do the other one now?
No, don't do the bottom one. That one's going to be something different, a different method. Okay. Talking needs to stop. All right. Arc mark. I'm doing my last one because I haven't done the last one yet.
Do you holes in your paper scissors?
Yes. All right. Guys. Okay. So you can see mine wasn't exact. In each period I do it, they come out a little different. My last period came right on it. This one you can see a little tiny triangle in there. But for the most part, this was the last periods. Can you see how it's right on there?
Yes.
So you should be close. If you're not right on it like me, that's fine. Okay. Now we're going to do some writing, and this writing step is very important for the test. Please stop. Okay, we're going to write it here. Are you ready? Perpendicular bisector of the triangle. Perpendicular bisectors, that should be plural.
I said Torres.
Perpendicular bisectors of the triangle are concurrent. Concurrent means they all intersect at the same point. The three lines intersect at the same point. Are concurrent at a point. What does it mean if I have like lengths of this distance is the same as this distance is the same as this distance? Equidistant.
Distant.
Equidistant.
Yeah.
Equidistant from the vertices. Okay, I haven't addressed that part, and I will in just a little bit. Here's the rest. The point. This is on the test, by the way. The point is called. The point is called. Not Bob. The circumcenter. Guys, we are recording. Okay. Now, here is what you need to know for the test. They're going to give you the word circumcenter made of the perpendicular bisectors of a triangle. And then you have to match it with this picture. Okay, what marking did I forget to put on my last side? What do I know about this angle?
They're right. That's about it.
And what do I know about these sides?
They're congruent.
And we'll call this a Z. AZ is congruent to BZ. And last piece. According to this, the point of concurrency is equidistance from the vertices. So I want you to take your compass, put your pointy piece the closest you can to that point of intersection, and put your pencil at angle B. Put the pointy piece the closest you can to the point of intersection, and put your pencil at angle B. And then just come around and see, is it the same to angle C? And if I pick it up and move it around, is it pretty darn close to angle A? What does that mean? That all these distances are the same. What's the word again? Equidistance. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. Put your pointy piece back here, pencil at the angle B, and make a circle around the whole triangle. Now, each angle, each vertex should be on the circle. It should go right perfectly around the triangle. Beautiful. Do you see that? It is. Okay. This is what it's called. It's a circle that's circumscribed about the triangle. Write it down. The circle is circumscribed. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my.
You know what? I'm gonna go this way.
Miss Torres, where's Jezza? I think he has my phone.
Wait, where's what?
Jonathan does it.
Who's there? Who's there? Jonathan.
All right. Guys, that you write this down. The circle is circumscribed about the triangle. That means it goes right on the outside, and the triangle is on the inside. Inscribed would be if it was on the inside of the triangle. It is. Okay, we need to move on. Any questions? All right. Are we good?
No.
Yes. Equidistance. The perpendicular bisectors of the triangle are concurrent at a point equidistant from the vertices to the point, period, sorry. The point is called the circumcenter. Okay, I'm going to move on. If you didn't get it down, I will put it back in screen later. Okay, I do need to move on to this piece here. What I want you to do is take your compass, go ahead and loosen it, and make this radius kind of small. You don't need it too big for this piece. I'm going to make mine about here. Can you see it? Now, it does not have to be half the length. There's no way that is half the length or bigger than half the length. We're not using the lengths. Right now, we are doing an angle bisector. An angle bisector. Okay, got it? So here's what you do. Everybody have their compass? Now, I am not going to adjust my compass at all the whole way through on every single angle. Now, you can, but it's not necessary, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put my pointy piece at angle A, and you're going to draw an arc so that it intersects both lines, segment AB and segment AC. Draw an arc so it intersects both segments of your angle. Everybody have it? Now, this next step, you can adjust it if you want, but I said I'm going to leave it the same all the way through, so I'm leaving it. And I'm putting it here. Everybody with me? I'm going to call this point W, just so I could have a name for it.
Do you want me to check if you had a chance to?
No, but I will. Okay, we're at point W. Everybody there? Yes? Okay. So, and while I'm here, I'm going to call this point down here Q. Okay.
What was the first one?
W and Q, just so I have a name for it. Those are not necessary, but just so I have a name. I'm going to put I didn't adjust my compass. I'm going to put it at W, but you could if you wanted to. Put the pointy piece at W and make the arc, or that half the X. Do you see what I did? Put it here, and I made my arc. Now after this, you cannot adjust it. So if you did in between, that's fine, but you cannot at this point. Flip it around, put your pointy piece down here at Q, and do it again. Make your arc, or your half X. Okay, everybody have it? Now, with the angle bisectors, it's only one X. It's not an X at the top and an X at the bottom like it was for the angle bisectors, or sorry, perpendicular bisectors. Do you see that? It's only one X on the inside. You take your ruler, you line up that intersecting mark with angle A, and you connect. Okay. Now this is an angle bisector, so I'm going to put angle markings in there. Yes, hustle please. Okay, everybody with me? If that didn't make sense, I'm going to do it 2 more times. I'm going to explain it again on corner C. So if you didn't get it on the first part, just go to corner C with me, and then you can go back and do that one after. I'm still not going to adjust my compass. You can if you want. I'm not going to. Putting the pointy piece at C, I am going to make an arc to intersect both segments of my angle. So intersect AC and BC, and I'll call those K and P, just so I can have names for them. Not necessary. Okay, again, if you didn't get the first one, you're doing this one with me now. We ready? Okay. Adjust if you want. I'm not going to. Put the pointy piece at K.
Is it the same thing as before?
Yes.
Oh.
Half the X, or your arc mark, pick it up, put it at P, and do the same thing. Up. So I did it from K. I made my half the X or the arc mark, pick it up, put it on point P. That's a P over here. And I did the same thing. And then I take my ruler and I connect vertex C where the X intersects here the best I can. That looks off a little bit. This angle is congruent to this angle. Does that make sense? No? Yes? This is a P, but does it look like an R? I'll call it R. Yes. So what I did is I put my pointy piece at K. I never adjusted my radius, so I'm still using the same radius. And I made an arc from point K. At this point, I cannot adjust my radius. I pick it up and put it at R, and I did the same thing. So K and R are the points I'm using to make my X. Okay? And then I'm going to do it one more time, this time at angle B. Are you guys doing it with me? Make your arc. And I'll call that F and G. Wait, is that in the bad? Did I miss it?
Is it FML?
I don't know. I said something wrong.
Oh.
I don't know. F and G.
Sorry.
Wait, did you mean
No. Oh my goodness.
All right. So we are now going to put the pointy piece at F. Okay. Now, guys, this is what I was talking about. Well, maybe I didn't say it with this class. Sometimes it does get a little messy. So if you need to erase one of your X's, that is fine. But should you erase all of your arc marks? No, because that's showing your work. So I just erased that one so I could see a little better, but you never erase all because that's showing your work. Okay, arc mark. And then I put the pointy piece at G and I do the same thing. And I could see this one's going to be way off. Okay, guys, again, I have a bigger triangle, but that should be a point of concurrency. Mine did not intersect. There was a space in the middle. All right, everybody have it? We're going to write down our stuff, our piece of information. Angle. Bisectors. Angle bisectors of the triangle. Angle bisectors of the triangle are, what's that C word? Concurrent. Are concurrent at a point. Period. The point is called the incenter. All right, so what do you need to know for the test? The they're going to say in-center is made up of the angle bisectors. Match it with the picture. Can you match that these are angle bisectors? And I should have marked it up here as well. Can you see angle bisector, angle bisector, angle bisector? Yes or no? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.